Hello and welcome everyone! Just behind me is a level 100 heavy gunner, and those guys have a lot of armor, yeah? So today we're going to talk about a couple of different weapons you can use to remove that armor, like this. So the two weapons in question for today are the Akbronco Prime and the Boar Prime. And basically the question with these two weapons is going to be which one removes armor more effectively, which one removes armor in a way that you would want, which one actually does damage while removing the armor, etc. So, let's jump right in. Now the reason this comparison is actually relevant is because these two weapons' builds for removing armor are almost exactly the same. They're both shotguns, and they can both reach 100% status chance, but only if you apply all 4 dual stat mods. Then they reach 100% status chance before multishot, both of them do. So with all those dual stat mods on, you've got maximum status chance. However, one of them is a pistol and one of them is a shotgun. And as you might be aware, pistols have more mandatory mods than shotguns do. That is, the number of just raw damage pellet increasing mods on the Akbronco is higher than those on the Boar. And the reason that matters is because with 2 open slots, the Boar Prime is able to do another normal corrosive combo, a full corrosive combo, which weights its damage much more toward corrosive than the Akbronco is able to. The Akbronco only has 1 free slot, so it can only weight its damage a little bit more toward corrosive. This makes a difference because since we're proccing a status with every single pellet, we're getting a much larger percentage of our Boar Prime pellets proccing corrosive than our Akbronco pellets. But as a trade-off, let me show you how these two weapons fire in comparison to each other. So here's the Boar Prime. As you can see, it's an auto shotgun. Fires like that, pretty long reload too. And you shoot like so. Not too fast, pretty good rate of fire, not too much recoil, not bad, right? So here's the Akbronco. Very fast, and pretty nasty reload. But as you can see, these things empty that magazine real quick. These things get off 6 of their shots before the Boar Prime is able to get 6 of its shots off. It's a lot longer than that. So the way we're going to test this is the following. I'm going to bring along this Galatine Prime, which is the pinnacle of a normal melee weapon that people use nowadays. It has an extremely expected build. We're just using things you use with Blood Rush and a corrosive combo and Life Strike, to be fair. And so this is not like a super outlandishly optimized melee weapon for this situation. It's just the best melee weapon, so it's our example. If you were carrying around some bodygun Blood Rush weapon, it might very well be this. So basically I have this to help me if my armor stripping weapon does not finish off the enemy adequately, but if it does, then we'll have to take that into account. So I'm going to fight a level 100 heavy gunner, first using the Boar Prime and then using the Akbronco Prime. And again, I'm only going to use the Galatine Prime if it's taking too long to kill it, but like if the armor stripping weapon is not killing it fast enough on its own. So you'll get to see that, and you can decide for yourself what you think of the two. So this is the Boar Prime. So I'm going to get in close. This weapon has blasts, so you can just keep them. There we go. So in about 10 shots, 11, but I'm not sure if I overshot it, this enemy has no armor. So now I'm going to fire the rest of the magazine at it, and we'll see if it dies. Taking pretty decent damage. Yeah, fairly nice damage. Now with just a little tap of the Galatine, it's gone. So yeah, I mean, if this weapon was reloaded and had more shots, we could definitely have taken care of that enemy. It took okay damage after the armor stripping was gone. Keep in mind, I mean, these are guns that are literally loaded with 60% elemental mods, so no crit chance, no 90% elements besides their open slots. They're not going to be doing insane damage. Their point is to armor strip. The fact that the Boar Prime did okay damage as well is not bad. Eh? So now for the Akbroncos. Once again, getting close. Very important to get in close because otherwise all the pellets won't hit for these things. So as you can see, 1 burst removed all of this enemy's armor, but now I'm going to fire another burst, and you see the problem. It's not really doing much damage, and I have to reload every time. That's 3 bursts, 4 bursts. So if you're willing to do 4 bursts, I guess that wasn't bad, right? But it would be much more reasonable if I had used the Guillotine instead. You wouldn't reasonably use this weapon to actually kill this enemy in all likelihood. You would just stab it, start hacking away at it, kill it in a much more timely manner, yeah? And also you don't have to reload during that time, making you vulnerable to stuns. So, yeah, so the Akbroncos definitely remove the enemy's armor faster, but once they have it removed, their DPS lacking starts to show it's lacking. Whereas the Boar is relatively capable of killing the enemy on its own, and even when you do have to reload it, it only takes 1 or 2 swings to hack the enemy up. Now I suppose you could argue that the Boar Prime is using more ammo to do that, and shotgun ammo drops are certainly rarer than pistol ammo drops, but the fact that you don't have to take out a different weapon, that you can do that from some amount of range, and I mean these weapons are proccing blast all over the place too, so you are keeping the enemy CC'd while you're doing all of this. So I don't know, it's a lot of factors. So long story short, I think with these two weapons it's definitely an and, definitely not an or. I don't think either of them is just better. Akbronco Prime is more of an assassin-y kind of weapon. If there's like one dude that just like has to die, this can get armor off a very high level enemy really fast. You can just slam the trigger, burst out all the shots, and in like 1 second flat the enemy just has no armor, which is very helpful. On the other hand, the Boar Prime is a much more sustainable weapon. This is like something you could actually use as a primary, and that's good because it's a primary. The other advantage of the Akbronco Prime is that it is a secondary, so if you wanted to bring like a Soma to do massive like check it out. So this is a Soma Prime build optimized for enemies with no armor. It's got heat and viral damage, and Soma Prime deals mostly slash damage as well. So this weapon does excellent against enemies that are already armor stripped, but you obviously can't run it with Boar Prime. You can have this in the same loadout as your Akbronco Prime, and then once the armor's off, you can just Soma the dude, and it's gonna do about what you would expect. They're gonna be dead. On the other hand, if you brought the Boar, that's where maybe you're reaching for a melee weapon or secondary with a lot of burst, honestly kind of like the Akbronco, but just like something else. Possibly the Axomati or the Azuma or something with a lot of slash damage or whatnot that will take advantage of the fact that the enemy no longer has armor. But it's not so easy to find an option for secondaries in my humble opinion. So there you have it, Drunken Naros rests his case. Thank you all for watching. Let me know which one you think is better and for what reason, or if you think the Boar Prime and the Akbronco Prime are both excellent armor-stripping secondaries in their own right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.